In this video I will be analyzing Electronic Arts' 2010 release Skate 3, developed by EA Black Box. Most notably I'll be discussing the long-lasting afterlife of this game and its fan base, but also what this game means to video game history. Skateboarding has long been the victim of exploitation for the sake of video game profits, and rarely have the results proven worthy of their price or actions. However, there are those few exceptions that provide a glimmer of hope for the vast potential of a skateboarding video game. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, and 4, American Wasteland, Underground 1 and 2, and Thrasher Skate and Destroy, depending on who you ask. While these games proved commercially successful, the physics were limited by the technology of their time. Video games just hadn't come far enough to catch up with the physics of a skateboarding game, or at least a realistic one.
Oh man, this must be a record!
The lack of realism of the series was ultimately the downfall of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Although Skate 3 was released in 2010, it has kept a high concentration of dedicated players for nearly a decade and shows no signs of dying out anytime soon. Especially with the release of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in 2013, the cries for Skate 4 are more boisterous than ever. With nearly 20 million skateboarders across the globe, there's bound to be a yearning. Imagine the public outcry if the NFL went a decade without a Madden release. Unfortunately, anything since Skate 3 has been a parody. The release of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 in 2015 seemed to be the most egregious act of skateboarding's exploitation in recent memory. The new console technology had surpassed the kitsch that had made the series so famous and profitable. While it seemed like we would never receive a skateboarding game on the next generation of consoles, Microsoft decided to listen and throw skateboarding fans a bone with the re-release of Skate 3 on the backwards compatible feature of Xbox One in late 2016. Today, the commercial industry is increasingly recognizing this retro market, resuscitating its back catalog of older titles via digital distribution, says Brett Camper in his chapter about the retro reflexivity of video games. Microsoft has put even more emphasis on the retro market since the re-release of Skate 3 in 2016, even announcing the release of the first game in the Skate series from 2007 on backwards compatibility in 2019. The first game in the series will always be dubbed inferior in the eyes of industry history, so putting that one out after its sequels automatically breaks with our lineal understanding of video game history. However, the last decade of skateboarding games has seen little to no progression in terms of traditional industry history. It is obvious that their apparently bulletproof success of the late 90s and early 2000s did not come so easily anymore. The third installment in the Skate franchise is by far the most advanced in the series, including new features like underflips, dark slides, finger flips, a new camera system, and recording system for catching clips.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
While Skate 3 takes place in the fictional town of Port Carverton, it still features many famous skateboarding spots, such as El Toro, Hollywood 16, and the Hollywood 12, the Cardiel Rail, and a variety of other skate spots from across the world. But for all the flashy advances the game had made up to 2010, I'm still looking back through 10 years of hindsight and 10 years of video game experience, with better graphics and better gameplay. In reality, the gameplay manages to overcome that 10-year bias on a wide scale for gamers all over, to the point where release date ultimately doesn't matter, especially to skateboarders. Skate 3 plays a very important role in video game history, especially in the retro market where it has already had 2 out of 3 titles released in reverse chronological order. The fan base has forced the hand of Microsoft with no intention of stopping.
Hey, you keep that up, somebody's gonna shake you around.